It's so empowering to appreciate what you already have. And I find that it's hard to be zero waste when you're trying to cover up who you are.
Hello, thank you so much for checking out Earth Care. Today we're heading to Montreal to meet Christine Land. Christine is an actress, an environmentalist, a content creator, and now the founder of her own makeup line, Eco-Amical. Eco-Amical promotes low-waste cosmetics, which is super exciting because this is a topic that some of you have been asking for. You want to dive deeper into it, so let's get into it. Christine joins Earth Care to help us get there. She's going to talk about what makes a product eco-friendly, some of her own go-tos in her DIY low-waste makeup routine, and also some ingredients to keep handy if we want to try making our own cosmetics at home. Christine Land, thank you so much for being on Earth Care. Can we just kick it off with your backstory? Because this is super interesting. How did you get into eco-friendly makeup and find yourself, doing all these DIY tutorials at home, basically?
So I've always done DIYs, and makeup was just an extension of it. I'm actually an actress by profession, and I felt like a hypocrite having all these plastic containers for makeup. I like the planet, and it just didn't align with me. So what I did was I quit makeup cold turkey for a year. I went to all my auditions without makeup. I got used to my natural face without having trying to mask things or alter the shape of my nose or my eyes. And by doing that, I really appreciated what I had naturally. And I thought it was the time, okay, let's make makeup that doesn't cover what I have, but enhance. And so I went into my kitchen. I got ingredients that were like things that you would bake with or things that you would use to cook, and just started mixing things. And it took me a lot of trial and error. I've had a lot of successes and failures, but it was just the whole process. And I felt like, okay, if I can't make it, I don't need it. So I started my own cosmetics lines, and I started to share on TikTok the process of what I do. And we're here today.
Wow, that's so special because I think that's something that a lot of people maybe want to try. The idea of getting used to just your own face is something that I
Yes.
think so many people struggle with. So it's just so
Mhm.
cool to hear that it can be done. You can still have fun with makeup, but just lean into yourself, you know?
Yes. And it's
Um,
empowering too. It's so empowering to appreciate what you already have. And I find that it's hard to be zero waste when you're trying to cover up who you are.
That's
Mhm.
really quite powerful. And, in the beauty industry alone, there is so much greenwashing. You go into any beauty section of the store, and I think every product now has some kind of buzzword on it or like a picture of a tree. Um, so if someone is shopping for eco-friendly products, eco-friendly cosmetics for the first time, what are some things that they can look out for to maybe try and avoid that could be damaging to both the planet and people?
So the first thing and the easiest thing you can look for is how it's packaged. Glass can be reused, but it's heavier to transport. So the carbon emissions are more. So sometimes people like to use plastic, but I think plastic is good only if you can reuse it. If you're going to throw it away, you might as well buy glass. And there's other things like aluminum that can be recycled, but also if you buy it, it could get dented, but it's okay if you're only going to use the product for 6 months. And then paper is another one. For me, I make my own makeup. So for paper tubes, it's not very reliable for me because I rather use a container that I'll keep reusing.
Right.
So I think if you're purchasing, I would probably go for glass and aluminum.
Are there labels or, ingredients that they can keep an eye out for that maybe will be the aha, that's a more eco-friendly product?
There's certifications that certain brands have, like EcoCert, or just different certifications you'll have, Leaping Bunny, all these things. And people have to understand that companies pay for these certifications and they have to be vetted. And it's great for a company to have, but some smaller brands may not afford to have them. And I think that having at least one certification is nice to look for. And also, there's certain ingredients to avoid when buying eco-friendly products.
Right. What would some of
Mhm.
those ingredients be?
When looking for like eyeshadows and highlighters, there's something called mica, and mica is a natural ingredient, but I don't really like to use natural mica because it can be used. They hire children to mine them, so it causes child labor. And I prefer to use synthetic mica. Even though it's synthetic, it's also biodegradable, and it's grown in a lab, and they're not exploiting children to be able to make makeup to make us more beautiful.
There's so many things that we don't know
Mhm.
about behind the scenes, you know, there's just
Yes,
so much, and it's so easy to be hidden because who has time to research every corner of this, you
yes.
know? But this is what's so amazing and so special about people like yourself who are coming out with these product lines that are there for us to have alternative options. So Eco-Amical, your
Yes.
environmentally friendly line, what makes it environmentally friendly?
I use a lot of plant-based and ingredients and natural ingredients. I use synthetic mica, and all the packaging is packaged in aluminum, like I have over here. I'll show you. And what's really special is I made a cake mascara. So instead of a tube, tubes are really hard to recycle, and especially black plastics are not recycled. So this is
Right.
in a tube, and it's like this. And I just reused one of my old makeup wands, like my mascara wands, and I wash it between uses. So I like it. I can just refill what I make. It lasts me for about 6 months. So I'm not like I guess a regular mascara you would replace about that much too. So it's great to be able to make it at home and just reuse it when I want. And it's different. The application is a little bit different. So there's a learning curve to natural makeup, but once you get the hang of it, it's not very different.
If we learn how to put on makeup in the first place, surely we can learn another way to
Yes,
put it on, you know? It was like, did you ever try the deodorant that you like apply with your fingers? Yeah,
yes,
like
I have that here,
yeah.
my deodorant. So I find it's no different. I guess the result is the same. You don't
Yep,
smell after, and you can get to the bottom of it. I find with the tubes, it's hard to get to the bottom, and you feel like, oh, it's a waste to throw it out. So you have
totally.
the whole thing, and this is mine that I make in a glass container, and I just keep filling it up. This one was an old jam container,
Oh, I love that.
so it's cool to have these products.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know before you, like you kind of said at the beginning, you've been doing DIYs for quite some time.
Mhm.
This is your wheelhouse. What are some of your go-tos then in your makeup routine?
The first thing I made is I wanted to have a brow filler. So I made a brow filler using cocoa powder and activated charcoal to get the color right. So I have to moisturize my face first so it sticks, but then it lasts like the whole day. So here is my, I guess it's hard to see,
Yeah,
but
no, I don't
this,
want you pouring it out
yeah, yeah,
there.
this little tin lasts me, it's dry, so it lasts me for about a year. So dry
Oh,
ingredients, you can keep them for a year, but ingredients that have butters and oils, I'd suggest to use it up within 6 months.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And then there's another one. I like to show my products.
No, of course. This is
So
great.
this is a balm, like a balm for everything. So it's kind of like a Vaseline texture, so it removes makeup really easily. You can also put it on your face before you sleep to lock in moisture, and put it for your lips or dry skin. So this is like a balm that I use for everything. One of the first DIYs I made for skincare was also mineral foundation powder, because on the camera, I don't want to be shiny for auditions. So I made this one. It's hard to say, but it's basically arrowroot powder, cocoa powder, and other ingredients like clay that I put in. So cocoa powder gives the color, and arrowroot powder absorbs any of the moisture without looking cakey. It just blends and blurs into your skin.
Yeah, so here's an interesting question because I think that you know, the acting industry, any industry that requires you to be on camera and put yourself out there, it can feel like you do have to hide behind makeup. There is a
Yes.
lot of pressure there, you know, and maybe you didn't get any feedback, but have you received any feedback from people saying, "Hey, can you wear more makeup?" or "Hey," like it,
No, actually, it was the complete opposite. So I used to I used to wear a lot of makeup, like the whole thing, the foundation, the everything. And I would audition for parts that were not me. Like I would audition for like prostitute, like these. parts that were really not didn't connect with me. And as soon as I stripped all the makeup off, I felt that the characters I went for were a lot deeper and less of the superficial. So I felt a lot happier being able to audition for all kinds of parts that were a lot more normal or like regular people that had such deep stories. So I find that when I go to auditions now, all I need is maybe a bit of mascara and the foundation powder, like the mineral foundation powder, and I'm ready to go. And I felt like with having less on my face, I acted better too, because I wasn't trying to live up to what I put on my face. And I really got to be myself. And I noticed that I worked a lot more too during that time.
Wow, empowering. That is
Yes.
so cool. I think that's important for people to hear, especially, for younger kids who might be trying to get into acting. There's
Yes.
and in the TikTok era where, it's just everyone, putting on a show.
Mhm.
That is really special to hear. Now, you talked a bit about how your balm is great for helping to remove makeup. And I know you shared a really great video that was a zero waste or low waste way to remove makeup. We're talking about wearing less makeup, but these makeover competition shows really are fascinating. The art that you can create with
Yes.
makeup, I love. But every time I see them use a single use wipe, it kills my soul a
Yes.
little.
All the waste, and it's really harsh for your skin too. I feel like you're rubbing. I just find using natural oils, you just have to apply it and you don't really have to rub hard. It just glides off like
Right.
butter.
So what was your trick in the video you shared? You had a wipe, but it was a
a,
reusable.
it was a reusable wipe made out of, I think it was organic cotton, and I put some grapeseed oil on it and I just cleaned it off my face. Grapeseed oil or avocado oil. My skin really likes avocado oil.
You shared this other video too. It was 5 ingredients that you can keep handy if you want to start, dipping your feet into making your own DIY cosmetics.
Yes,
Can you speak
yes.
to some of those products?
Yes, so it's really important to have a shea butter. Shea butter is just, it makes creams like deodorants really luxurious. It has this thick feeling. You also need to have an oil. I like avocado oil. You can use olive oil, something to make the shea butter softer, and arrowroot powder to absorb any moisture. So for the mineral foundation powders, deodorants, and wax to be able to make the product harder so it doesn't melt when you put it into the car.
Very cool. And if anybody has those ingredients handy and now is going, what do I do with them? Your Instagram, your social media, your videos, your TikToks
Yes.
are a great starting point. So thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you for having me. It was so much fun.